Have you ever heard of Black Dog Institute? You probably have, but if you haven't, they're a charity that tends to focus predominantly on issues surrounding mental health. Now, like all charities, they have their administration fees and things like that, but like most of them, they don't really spend a whole lot of money on anything else. Now, if we go to, where is it? The Australian Charities and Non-for-Profits website. So this is actually a really good tool for any charity or like non-for-profit organisation in Australia. Every year they have to declare, like, where, what money they're getting and where that money is going, and it gets put up on this government-run website, and it actually shows you how much they're spending on, like, what in percentage graphs and everything. It does it all for you. What they're spending on, like certain, like staff and things like that. What they're spending on, actual charitable services, and what they're spending on internal stuff other than, and also what they're making and where they're getting the money from, whether they're getting it from government funding or whatever. I'll put their link down below for this. So, yeah, like, this one's a really, really troubling one, because mental health, like, is one of those sort of things where it's just, like, all the other issues always take a front seat. Like, mental health always takes a back seat. Even when it's getting pushed in the forefront of, like, media and advertisements, it always takes a back seat. It's just kind of that trivia one. They've got to bring it up, you know what I mean? It's, at the same time, the only other one that's sort of similar is disability issues as well. Is another one that always seems to take a back seat. Like, and so, yeah, like, I don't have physical sort of disabilities or health conditions and things like that I know of. Like, I can't really comment on the disability side of things, but can happily go down the mental health rabbit hole. And so, now that we're about, 30 seconds from the 3-minute mark, I'll roll some kind of, cheap-ass little intro so I can go to properly expressing myself with lovely language I like to employ. Let's start, shall we? So, I've just gone again onto the Australian Charities and Non-for-Profits Commission website, and it's acnc.gov.au. And yeah, you'll find a little tab and you go charities, and anyway, so basically, like, the first thing that they'll pop up is the actual profile, which will be your charity details. It'll have the ABN, it'll have the address for, pardon me, it'll have the address that they predominantly operate from for mailing purposes or whatever, an email address, an email for service email, website, rada. Who the charity size. So if it's a small little get up, it'll say so. In this case, Black Dog Institute is quite a large charity, and just says simply large. And then, it'll give you a rundown of who the charity actually is aimed at helping, the date established, the last report that they put in, and the next one that's due. And, yeah, and the financial year end, rada. Fucking, they were established in 2001, according to the ACNC. And, yeah, the last report was of the 13th of December, 2021. So, that's last year. And the next one's due in the 1st of February, which will probably reflect all of this year's. Now, who the charity helps, according to the ACNC's little listing. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Nice. Adults aged 25 to under 65. Nice. Adults aged 65 and over. Nice. So everybody, basically. Who the charity helps? everybody. Children are, especially children aged 6 to under 15, families, general community in Australia, other people with chronic illnesses, including terminal illnesses, youth 15 to under 25. Got to write, summary of activities. We provide evidence-based practical products and services to people across all states and territories to Australia to reduce the severity and incidence of mental illness, actively reduce suicide rates, innovate new models of care, and create easily accessible solutions to empower everyone to look after their mental health. The combination of our expertise in evidence, just to fucking sell yourself, basically blurb there. Now they've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've got like 9 or 10 different bloody charities up, but this is just a little weird thing where the charity operates: states, Australian Capital Territory, New South Wales. So they help Australia out, but they focus on one little pocket, apparently. They probably don't. That's probably just the website. I'm just having a giggle there. But if we're going to seriously rip into them here, and to do that, we're going to go into the financial overview, which is listed on the right-hand side of if you're looking on a web browser. Like if you're looking on a PC. If you're on a mobile, I actually don't know how this will show up, so have fun with that. But yeah, on a PC, it'll just be the one page. It'll be down the right-hand side here will be the financial overview. Still just under the profile tab. Now, revenue. The total revenue that they earned during that period listed below is 50 million. That's how much they've pulled in. Now, it breaks this down for you. And again, it's just up there. You can see it all. It's got the color coding for each of the little pie things, so even though I can't really get the cursor to come up, you'll be able to roughly work out which is which. Now, they've gotten 11 from goods and services. 11% of their stuff, nearly 12%, has come from goods and services that they provided. They've 46, so just under half of their total sort of revenue total for that year has come from people giving them money. Just donations and bequests, but yeah, donations. Other revenue, I'm not really sure what they would call other revenue. I'm not a financial buddy. And revenue from the government, though, makes up 29, so about 30%. That was under the last government. 30% of their income was coming from that. And then, 1.9% from investments. Now, that's, fair enough. You don't really glean anything horrible from that, really. It's when you go down to expenses here, that's where it's like, okay. So there are 5 different little, color codings, just like up at the top for, things that they've, spent. In dark blue is employee expenses. In the fucking slightly lighter but still dark blue is all other expenses. In that weird kind of bluey green, I don't know these color names, interest expenses. In that sort of teal, sort of aqua color, grants and donations made for use outside of Australia. And in the lightest of sort of teals, the grants and donations made for use in Australia. Now, these two you'd expect to see a bit on the graph, right? Just by the way they've described how they, sort of branch out and do things, right? Or at least interest expenses, you'd think that they'd be losing something to some random, pen jockey, scramble them over. No. All their expenses, and mind you, 63%. 63.48% to be precise, but 63. So well over half of the money that they're getting is going to employee expenses. It's going straight to the people that work for them. not to the their or whatever their organization is, their paycheck. That's the people they're paying. Sorry. What the fuck? 63%. So when I said fucking, all you're in the last video was all you up there is all you're doing is buddy putting fuel in their buddy Audi. Like I meant it. Or if they want to be a fancy little fucker and say they drive an EV, like, well, yeah, you're paying for their EV because they're not cheap at the moment. And see, here's the other thing. Everything else on this graph, like there's not even a tiny fraction for any of these top three here that we would expect to see from an organization aimed at, helping at least people inside Australia. It's like, I could tolerate if even the only thing was outside of Australia, because at least the charitable donations were going somewhere, if it was probably money laundering. But like, I was kind of hoping there'd be something like that, not all other expenses. So basically, they're just like, oh yeah, we'll give you some money, we'll give you some money, we'll give you some money, and we'll write it off as an expense. Not a donation, not a this is going to the various charity programs we run, like Smooth Sailing or fucking Sleep Ninja or fucking the bushfire support service, mental health counseling. Like, I'm sure that these services do wonderful fucking things for the people that they've done for. I'm sure, but like they're the ones that should be listed here. There should be a grants and donations made for use in Australia. These are the things you're supposed to be using the money on. Why is that not listed? Because if they're directly a part of you, and you're paying these people wages, and so the total expenses as well. Here's the other thing. Remember how we said that the total that they had made is 50 million? If we look down here, total expenses, 36.7 million. Did you give that 14 million back? Is that what happens? Like, explain it to me. You've emailed me after my last video. Explain it to me. Like, what's the go? Where's that 14 million gone? And why aren't any of these organizations that you've got listed as your charity programs getting grants and donations made for use in Australia? Why? Yeah, all happy and fine and dandy to fucking give some automated response to my buddy video because he's turned around and put in a text, like, with the whole mullets for fucking mental health thing that you're doing. You'll put in a text to basically berate people to get them to donate or whatever. You'll respond to that and be all like, in an automated fashion of, oh, we've taken the critique under advisement. But you won't fucking, She's not a charity. You're literally hipsters taking people's money and funneling it into your own little fucking lives at the expense of people with mental health. You know what we could be doing with this, 50 million and, like total bloody thing, like those donations. All this could all just be going to some form of actual, like, regulated government body or charity, or independent from the the actual parliament itself, but some that we all actually have a stake in, as opposed to just throwing it to people that are stuffing it into an Audi and that. Like, at least if it was like government run, it would be, at the very worst, the only cars that'd be getting filled would be like some bloody hybrid Prius at best. Like, let's be real, people in an actual government job, like, don't get paid a whole lot. Like, people can go on and on about the police and all the upper folks themselves all they want, but no, like, the average government folks don't get paid that much. Like, I can tell you now, you don't get paid that. You don't get paid that much working at a Services Australia centre. That's for sure. But nah, like 14 million. Where's that going? Do you send that back? Does it just get hung onto for next time, or Does it sit in some massive pool that is, slowly but surely make, just a good, nearly $1 million on the side from revenue from investments? Because that's, in the total of what you've made there, that's basically what, that's what your 1.9% is, $948,000, $948,894.00. You know what? I'm gonna go get stoned and, just pump myself full of those kind of freaking chemicals to make myself feel better, because sedating myself is how I get through having to see that people like you all exist in the world. Because y'all are a cancer. I think I said in the other one, or I may have cut it from the other one, but I suggested that you're a symptom of all of this. No. You're the cancerous cell. You're one of those melanomas popping up on the skin that is like mental health, and it's fucked. Because like no one gives a damn, like, outside of, again, the ones making the money from it and the ones affected by it. And they don't live on the internet. The internet's a horrible place for them. I'm sadistic. I like torturing myself, so I play Dark Souls, motherfucker. Like, of course, like, jumping on the internet's nothing for me. It's like, yes, hurt me, baby. But, like, other people, no, like, they don't live on the internet. But, like, all you normies, man, that do seem to, habitate the world that is the wide web, y'all won't give a fuck. Yous never do. Yous don't give a fuck until it's something that actually affects you, and then, like... Oh. See, I'm trying to keep a, positive sort of spin on things, but we go down this goddamn, fuck you, sort of thing. So, look, the smile is what you get, alright? I'll keep a nice, cheery fucking face, but I'm still gonna fucking say it how it is. These people are fucked. And these people are you. Like, they're more relatable to people like you than they are to people like me. Like, they stayed in school, they fucking did hard, and they got a good job that fucking pays them fucking 63% of fucking 50 million. So that's 60. How many fucking people work at BlackDogInstitute? Because that would be another interesting number, like an average per se that someone gets or earns working for BlackDogInstitute. Like, because what the fuck, man? If any of yous like actually do jump on and like this website here and just cycle through and show me some other put some other bloody charities in the comments, like, or something, like, you can drive up that algorithm. Why not? Fucking, like, because I'm sure these guys aren't the only ones that are this fucked on paper. Because they are, like, empirically, this is a government website specifically spelling out how they're fucked. And the website is called Australian Charities and Non-for-Profits that are somehow making profit. Revenue from investments. I don't care that it's 1.9%. There's revenue from investments. But there's no fucking... There's no expenditure on grants and donations. Have a good one, folks.